This right here makes your golf swing, and this right here breaks your golf swing. I'm going to be discussing how the exit move changes everything in your golf swing, diving into what we see so many amateur golfers do, making the mistake time and time again, compared to professionals out on tour who are able to develop a consistent exit pattern that allows for that consistent strike, consistent flight. I could go on to take place. So just to begin with, there's one thing we need to understand that isn't mentioned enough in golf, and it's all to do with how the hands work in the golf swing, so the hand path. Now, what so many amateur golfers do is they believe that they need to get the hands working towards the target as we make a way to make contact with the golf ball. And I want you to imagine, I mentioned this in a couple of videos in the past, but this golf club works with a big circle, a big arc, swinging up to the top, back down and through to finish. And what we notice so many golfers do is they'll get to the very top of the swing and really push the hands and the club towards the golf ball. When we push the hands and club towards the golf ball, it effectively pushes the hands towards the target. They get that flippy motion on the way through. Club gets a bit too far ahead to try and recover from this, and then they finish off in such an awkward position. Well, what they're doing, and this could be you if you're doing this as well, so make sure you film yourself after this video and check this. What they are doing is they're getting up to the top, and they are then changing the direction of their swing arc. So if I was to take a hula hoop, just to show you what I mean by this, I'm just going to take the club away, and I'm going to come a little bit close to this camera angle so you can see this. So I'm going to get my editor now just to place a video of me swinging a golf club so you can see this in a little bit better. So as we have a look at the setup position here, okay, this is the setup position. We've got the swing arc here using the hula hoop as a demonstration. As soon as we make our way into the backswing, that's when the club starts to be taken back. Parallel to the ground, takeaway points, making our way up to the top of the swing. As soon as we reach the top of the swing here, what then happens is the swing direction changes. So we push the hands out to try and get towards the golf ball, to try and make sure we hit the golf ball. So you can see from here, this drastically changes where the swing arc is going to be traveling. So in reaction to this, as we make our way into the downswing, where the club reaches about parallel, back to parallel to the ground, we then have to push the circle back. And by doing this, we push the hands forward towards the target. So we've pushed the hands away, then we've pushed the hands in from this circle here. Can you see how it's going across? And then from this point here, then we've had to jump out the way and try and push the hands through towards the target. Now, what professionals do so well is that when they make this swing arc, they're able to keep it on such a consistent arc throughout the swing. There's no manipulation, no changes to this arc from the backswing to downswing, and then making contact with the golf ball and even through to finish. So taking a look at the swing circle here then for tour professionals, if I was just to place one on the screen here now on the left-hand side of the screen. So we have a look at this player here. So what they'll do is they'll take the club back all the way up to the top of the swing, then they'll bring it back down on a much more consistent arc. And watch how the follow-through happens. Watch how consistent this follow-through move is here. The hands begin to work left. They exit left. Now that is the key. Tour players, let me just take a club just to show you this. Tour players will exit left. So obviously for right-handed golfers, that's going to be left. For left-handed golfers, it'll be exiting more to the right. So what do I mean by this? Making my way up to the top of the swing. They're always on play. Then they allow the club to come down. And as they're rotating through to finish, they don't push the hands towards the target because look, that changes that arc. It pushes the club outwards. So what they do is they allow the hands to exit left towards the wall behind me. So if you were to practice this at the driving range of the golf course, on a tee box, it's going to be towards the tee behind you. Imagining those hands exiting left. Looking from this point here, this is a very good checkpoint for you when you're going to be practicing this after the drill I show you. So from this point here, hands are hiding behind the body and the club head is still showing. Whereas before, it was more like this. Club head disappears and hides behind the body before the hands do. This is the inconsistent pattern on the way through, inconsistent exit. This is the consistent exit on the way through. very consistent, and that's what the tour players do. So how can we do this? Well, just before we dive into that, if you're new to the channel, welcome. I'm Harry, a golf teacher professional here to help you improve your golf game. So be a part of the community by dropping a comment down below the tips or drills video topic you'd like me to cover in a future video. So taking a look at how we can actually implement this just like the pros do every single time. So what we can do to begin with is just start practicing some chip shots. I'd recommend flaring the left foot out a little bit, because one of the keys to this move, as we exit those hands left and we don't allow this flippy release to take place, we hold this angle set here and we begin to rotate on the way through. That's going to force you to rotate the upper body a lot more so. So swinging up to parallel to the ground, then from there we're just holding this angle, we're not letting that go, so keeping our arms nice and strong, our hands nice and strong in position, and we're rotating our body. I'm going to feel like I'm getting my chest working towards the target, and that's going to help me get that added rotation as my hands work towards that lead hip here. And look what it does to the club. It gets it to travel down towards the golf ball as my hands exit correctly. That's going to make things so much easier for your chip shots. So just have a couple of swings, flaring the foot out a little bit more, just to help with the rotation side of things. Hands working towards the left hip, the left pocket. Really solid back and forth. All I focused on there was just a little bonus tip for these chip shots when doing this. I focused on the letter Y that was forming between my arms and the club to form this angle here. To make a way into the full swing, what I want you to focus on, especially with the irons, is exiting this way. Exiting left, allowing that Y to take place to start that golf swing. We don't want this to break early. Allow it to control that first part of the golf swing. Then we can work our way up to the top, and then look at the way I finished here, okay? Look at the way I have finished at this point here. Look at where my left arm is. Very tucked in, folding beautifully just like Tommy Fleetwood does on the way through, and that's just because I've allowed my body to add that extra rotation. I've allowed that chest to work towards the target. I've allowed my hands to work towards the left hip, and then from there we finish by releasing a little bit later. And that's when we get into that finish position like the tour pros do. A lot of them will get into this position if you watch them on slow-mo, and then they'll just fold in to finish off the golf swing. Before we dive into applying even more speed to this like you would do normally on a golf course, let me just give a quick shout out to the sponsors of the channel, GX Golf. They are a high-quality golf glove manufacturer competing at a very affordable price in comparison to its competitors out there on the market. Using my discount code below, Harry10, you can get yourself a great 10% discount on their bundle packages of 3, 6, and 9 golf gloves. So adding more speed to this, the key is control. As soon as we start to build up speed in the golf swing, it's very easy for us to get a little bit flimsy. When we get a bit flimsy, that's when the club face starts to do too much work. We want the club face to have limited work so it's nice and square through the impact zone. And that's where we're going to get that consistency in strike, but also the ball flight. So to do this, I want you to really take extra care on focusing on that first part, keeping the Y on the way back. To me, it just feels like I'm using my right shoulder to move upwards a bit more as my left shoulder moves down. But that's just me focusing on keeping that letter Y all the way up to this point here. As soon as we apply speed, a few golfers that have come and seen me for lessons when we've tried this have made the mistake of letting this angle go here. And when this angle goes, opens the face, we've got to try and get that back, so it's game over already. So start of the golf swing is one of the keys for speed. When we're applying more speed, really focus on getting that checkpoint there, where the club face there should be nice and square, leading edge is parallel to my spine angle. Working our way up to the top of the swing, everything stays the same. Just on the way through, I would highly recommend practicing a few swings where we're finishing at this point here. So we're stopping a lot sooner, just to make sure you're staying in control. Just to check you're staying in control when we begin to apply more speed to this. And then we can start to build it up in that follow through, up to where Fleetwood would be, and then all the way through to finish. That was solid. That's coming back to the target, lovely. Oh, did I just hit the pin? Oh, carry 154, okay, so I didn't quite hit the pin. It looked like I hit the pin for a sec there, but great shot, well in control there. You saw the way I finished if we just replay that shot there. Look at where the left arm's finishing, exactly where we want it to be. So if you've enjoyed this video, make sure you drop a comment down below of a tips or drills video topic you'd like me to cover next. Why not hit the subscribe button, as it helps me produce more content like this. And also, have a look at this video here, a great video specifically to help you control what the left arm does in the golf swing. And this has a very similar effect on what we've just explained today. This, if we get this right, it allows for that control, it allows for that correct exit. So these two combine really nicely. So I recommend checking that one out if you're looking for more golf tips. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.